go, are you looking over the other divide and waiting to see who they appoint as their running mates?
Oh, please. Well, they haven't appointed.
Officially
I thought they
not.
had. Oh, there's unofficial appointment.
There are rumors in the media about a particular candidate.
I don't have any.
You don't think it's important?
I don't have any. Well, it's not part of my
it's not?
thinking now. No. Whoever, it's up to the party to bring who they want. And whatever I think has no influence on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Prof, thank you very much for.
Today here we are considering abolishing the BEC and expanding SSC to 6 years. You have been former education minister. You think there are challenges in our educational health?
No, so we are abolishing what? BEC?
Yes.
So they'll do primary school 6 years.
Yeah.
Do junior secondary school 3 years.
Yes.
And then go to S for 6 years.
Like the middle,
what's it called?
So they are bringing our uncle's middle school back.
Yes.
Why are they doing that? For me, you see, I don't like commenting on something unless I really...
You want to understand it?
Yeah. I want to hear the rationale for it.
Okay.
Because if you look at all the educational reforms we've had in this country, from Gaggisberg through to the recent one, which makes about 14 of them, I would say there are too many. Too many and too frequently. So we never have the time to do proper review
of the impact.
So that we know, should we continue, should we do this,
Yeah.
So as it is, the children are not, they are not speaking good English. So you see, those perceptions, I don't think are enough.
They're not grounded in fact.
They may be, but it's not enough.
Okay.
First of all, you need to ask yourself, where do you think Ghana should be in 10 years' time? Okay? If in 10 years' time, Ghana should be food self-sufficient, how do you draw a curriculum to ensure that you are on that trajectory? So the problems they are not simmering anymore. They've come out.
Yeah.
They are bubbling. So let us link minds. I don't think any one person, however endowed, will have all the solutions to our problems.
Okay. So that's why you talk about dialogue.
We have to dialogue.
So this dialogue is going to be what? The parties?
Parties, non-parties, everybody.
Yeah, CSOs.
If you go to TUC, are you going to a party? No. If you go to the teacher unions, you are not going to a party. Maybe the teacher unions themselves will not be in power to implement, but you must hear them out.
Okay.
Because they are the ones managing the system. So you must talk to them.
Yeah.
Hear them out. If they say something you don't like, that's not a reason to sack somebody or to dismiss somebody.
Okay.
You don't have to like all things. But even if you take time and you reflect on it, maybe the moment you told me, I said, listen, this is not something I want. Maybe 2 days later, I thought about it and I realized that, no, what he was saying made sense. You factor them in. Okay. So this is where we are at now. Everybody must come on board. And the insults being thrown left and right will not solve the problem. Okay. So as I said, if it's about the typical example, price of kenke.
Yeah.
When people say the price of kenke is 5 cedis, it's not even as if the size of 5 cedis today is equal to the size of 1 cedi. So what happens? How do parents feed their children? Okay? How do people who earn so little survive? Those who make food for sale, which ingredients will they source? How will they source them? You see, it's a chain. And so we need to sit down. We all need to, so this is not working, fine. How do we make it work? You get different ideas. You put them together. You try some will work, some will not work.
But do we have time for try and error at this juncture?
It's not about error.
Okay.
So you pick the problems. There are some that you may be able to solve today. That the immediate term. There are some that will take maybe the medium term. There are some that will take a long time, but you must start on all of them. What is a long time in relation to today?
Okay.
If you feel, oh, this problem can be solved in 25 years, so I won't try now. In 10 years' time, you still haven't done anything. So the 25 years will come and you still have the problem.
Right.
But if you start solving it today, you'll notice that, you know, it may even come forward. The solution may even come forward because you are working on it. Okay, so we all know the problems. As you said, the young people are going away. What do we do?
Yeah, the nurses are going,
And
the
a
doctors
lot
are
of
going.
them are people that have been trained. They've been trained with the money you hardly have. And you are not going to make it. You train them for a purpose. The purpose is not being served. So what do you do? What is the implication of this exodus on your health system? How many nurses will be left? If already they were complaining there weren't enough, and many more people are leaving. So what do you do? How do we halt this? What alternatives do we give so people can have a choice? And they are not leaving because there's no choice. People come up with ideas.
Okay.
You may not have all of them. If you've put children in school and from primary school to end of JHS, they cannot write their names, what has happened? Why can they not write their names? What are the issues? What do you need to do? The teachers will have something to say.
Yeah.
The parents will have something to say. The community will have something to say. The students themselves will have a lot to say. So if you want proper solution, you won't say, oh, they are young, so, you know, they don't matter. They are the beneficiaries of all the things you are doing. So you must hear them out.
It's an MP who said the young people, they have coconut head.
Well, you know, and making those statements too are not very helpful.
Yeah.
You know, so you ask them, maybe the classroom is such, I've been to, how many classrooms have I not been? And you go there, it's so dark in there. And I wonder, what is this doing to the children's eyes? There are no books there. How do they learn? They don't have enough teachers there. What do they do? So they've been through class 2, no teacher. And they're going to class 3 with what knowledge? It gets to a point where some just even lose interest because they don't see what the parents will say. And then someone
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, peers education, of course you are an educationist. So is education your top priority if you are given the nod to become vice president? Is that what will be your focus? We see this vice president has taken digitalization as his baby
friend.
and all of that.
That vice president came in as an economist. He didn't come in as a digital man. So you put that aside.
I said the education and economy are interlinked.
My friend. Of course, education and economy.
Yes.
Digitization is not
digitization and economy.
My friend, I'm
digitization and economy.
All I'm telling you is this. You ask me.
Yeah.
But you've heard His Excellency, former President John Mahama.
Yeah.
Tell the whole world what I'll be in charge of. He talked about education, he talked about health, he talked about women and children.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Is that what you told him to say? Is that the conversation you had with him?
We talk about many things. Okay. He knows my strengths.
Okay.
Okay, I'm coming from the Ministry of Education.
Right.
Before then, I was coming from the University of Cape Coast.
Okay.
And in between, I've chaired the Fawe board.
Okay. So it's a natural...
Not that natural, it's a place I have spent a lot of time.
Okay, that's fair.
And I may have a bit of experience
That's
there.
fair. That's fair.
And if you talk about education, it's also health.
Right.
The medical schools are under us. You know that.
Okay.
A lot of the health schools are under us.
Right.
Some are not. They're under the Ministry of Health.
Right.
Public education, public health, and so on.
Yeah.
You know. So if he puts it that way, he's only playing to my strength.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So yes, education, yes.
So education, will it be girl child education, or you want to broaden?
Listen. This girl child education has become important because if you look at the history of education in this country, from the castles through, which university did you go to?
I'm a GIJ, Ghana Institute of Journalism.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you look at the history of GIJ,
yeah,
I'm not sure if you have the data about how many girls, how many boys growing up.
Right.
But if I send you to, let's say, the University of Cape Coast, or the University of Ghana, or Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, you'll notice that in each of these places, at UCC, for example, the smallest hall, addition hall, was a hall for the women. At that time, there was Atlantic Hall, very big. There was Ogwa Hall, very big. There was also Kesi Hayford Hall. 3 big halls for the guys.
Yeah.
Because the education didn't come for the women. So for a long time, there was no space for us. Even if you look at the graduation hood, you see there's that string with the, it's supposed to go into your collar. It's supposed to go into the last button. So it means that even in that design, we were not there. They didn't even think about us. Because where that education came from, they had a different perspective on women.
Yeah.
Our traditional form wasn't that way. And of course, we ran a dance, non-traditional and this and this and that. Okay. And you go to Legon, Volta Hall before they are next.
Yeah.
It's a small place.
Yeah.
Africa Hall was a small place. So that tells you that you were not having the women in that number.
Yeah.
So after a while, it creates an image. Okay, it creates an image that it is something that girls didn't do.
Okay.
And even when they started introducing it for the girls, it was about household free and vocational technical and not even proper technical. You know, so it creates a certain image about how far the girls could go.
Yeah.
So it gets to a point where you have to pay special attention
Yeah.
to the girls in order to bring them up.
Yeah.
To
We've
speak.
done affirmative action for a long time now.
But the bill has been in Parliament too for a very long time.
But some of the schools have been very intentional in admitting a lot more women.
Some of the schools, but
I think the last time they said Legon has more women
it
now.
shouldn't be some of the schools. It should be something that everybody does. Just admit the students who qualify. Okay. Sometimes you have to make, as you say, you have to make a special effort to recruit the girls.
Haven't we achieved that now?
No,
Don't we have a lot of more women?
You haven't. Otherwise, why would they say they are not ready for a woman?
Well, even America has and their democracy is older than our democracy.
My friend, let's come home.
And even the Mexicans were saying that they had one over the Americans. Even the America that touts themselves as the world's democracy has not had the opportunity to have a woman.
That doesn't mean we've had. You see, that's why it's news.
Yes.
The very fact that it is news.
Yes.
Tells
But
you
I think the affirmative action, by and large, seems to have achieved its purpose. And there are fears that even the men will now be left out.
Why? What are you afraid of?
That the men would actually be left out. That every time there's this, yes, we understand, but haven't we done it enough to the point?
Enough as in what? As in numbers?
As in numbers.
Tell me.
I agree that maybe in leadership positions there's a lot more to be done, because you go to
Maybe.
Parliament and there are very few women in Parliament.
Look at the percentage. Even recently when we had the district assembly elections, look.
That
right.
I agree.
Good. But these are also the powerhouses.
Right.
That is where the decisions are made.
Is it not because of the cantankerous nature of politics, like when I started?
Will you make a cantankerous to make sure we don't get it? And we are telling you that those days of making the cantankerous are over.
Okay.
We are now focused on getting our society working.
Okay.
And we need everybody to come on board.
Yeah. Okay.
We need the women to come on board. We have a perspective that you guys may lack.
Yeah.
And when we bring our perspective on the table, to the table, it helps in the final decision.
Okay.
Okay. So don't be afraid.
Okay. But people say the economy is going to be one of the biggest factors next year, whoever wins the election, whichever party. And usually, the last few elections until 2020, usually there's an economist and a lawyer, that kind of combination. There's a ticket that has no lawyer, has no economist
we have the lawyers and the economists. That's where we are. My friend,
but Prof,
let's talk another language.
The economy is going to be a big. I'm going to be a big
that we had an economic guru, an economic whiz kid. Why are we here?
Okay.
Why are we here? We don't all have to be economists, but we live the economy. I described for you what I was doing at UCC. Was I coming from the Department of Economics? I was coming from the Department of English.
Right.
So it is not next year only that is going to be tough. It's
Right.
tough right now. And the one in charge is saying now he's doing digital. So yes, we have, that's what I'm saying, let's link minds.
Okay.
Don't come saying I'm the one ordained to solve all the problems. You are not.
Okay.
You know something. We are not saying you don't know anything. You know something. Others know. Link with them. Don't put yourself on this pedestal. You know, I'm the only one who can do it. The only time we've been truly independent, we don't owe anybody, we're not paying any debts, we have enough food. It was a military man who was in charge. Was he a lawyer or an economist? So what does it take? You know, what does it take?
Prof, what's the feeling? Are you confident that the NDC would win power next year?
Yes, I am.
You're confident?
I'm very confident.
And your conviction is coming from where? From what?
Oh, it is coming from our record.
Okay. Is it because we've not had any party do more than 8 years? So it's just...
I don't think it's about
a
8
given.
years or 2 years. Mahama was there for less than 4 years.
Yeah, but that's a party.
Remember that
As
he
a
was...
party.
No, remember that he was...
It's a party they do
Remember that he was in court for 8 months.
Okay.
What wasn't he able to do? Did anybody guarantee him? Did anybody guarantee anyone 8 years?
He was taken over from his boss. It was a continuum, isn't it?
The others, it's not continuum.
He was taken
My
over
friend.
from your former prof
Yes.
mate.
Yes.
So
But
that
he
would have
had to
been
be
easier
voted
than...
for. What do you
Of
mean
course.
easier? He had to be voted for.
Okay.
He spent 8 months in court. What do you think he did to his plans? And in spite of that, look at what he was able to do. Others who have also been in 8 years, what have they also done?
Okay.
Okay.
So you think the record of the NDC in 8 years was better?
Everybody must move on their record.
Okay.
What you've been able to do. As I'm saying, that's not to imply that, oh, we're perfect and everything, you know, went on as smoothly as we wanted. Just check the records. At what point in the time of NDC did anybody die because they were going to write their name? Or they were going to vote? That is serious. That is too serious. As for the dollar and so on, it's our business to manage that. Okay? We are told they can bring the economy back to life. We are waiting.
They say the Ukraine and Russia war.
My friend. As for
Isn't
crisis,
this a good fact? Isn't it a good example? A reason,
you
sorry.
must ask, what are you getting from Ukraine?
Wheat and...
Good. You are getting wheat. Let's just stop with wheat.
Yeah.
What do you use wheat for?
Bread, other things.
If you didn't have bread,
And feed
if you didn't have bread,
for
what
our
will you
poultry
eat?
and...
Are you saying that there's nothing here you can eat?
So substitution.
Are you saying that if the war affected Ukraine to that extent, and it hasn't?
It hasn't.
They are fighting and we are there asking them to feed us.
They said it added on to the COVID wave, which disrupted the world economy, all the world economies.
When the financial crisis came in 2008,
In 8, yeah.
it didn't affect those who came to power after that.
It did, didn't it?
So what is it? Why are we still not talking about that excuse?
So you don't buy that excuse?
All I'm saying, you see, you will have crises. Some you can foresee. Some you may not be able to foresee. We were threatened by Ebola.
Yeah.
What did we do? We were told if one person died, his blood will be on Mahama. Every time they find a way to bring Mahama. How many people died during COVID? Your smile doesn't answer the question. But you
A lot of people died, but I mean, it happened in the world economy.
wait.
Look at the number of people who died in America and
So
in
what?
Italy.
So what?
So it tells you how deadly the virus was.
And you know, I don't even want to follow that.
Prof.
But what I'm saying is that we're threatened by Ebola.
I remember.
What did we do? We had COVID. What have we done? We were threatened though. We didn't have a single case.
Yeah.
But we quickly went about finding out, assuming, what will we do? Do we have emergency centers? Do we have specialists to handle this? Do we have medications? What do we need to do? Do we have the protective clothes? We got them in readiness, just in case. That was the reason why we set up at the University of Ghana the Center for Cell Biology and Infectious Pathogens. And that is the center that is the sequencing. When we had COVID, what was the response? You bring a non-Ghanaian company to tax us at the airport. What did Ghana get? Assuming that was a Ghanaian company, assuming that tax was given to Noguchi, what research centers did they have built with all that money? That was our response to a threat. We had COVID. What was the government's response? What hospital has been? Just, it can be anything. What I'm saying is that there may be threats you will not see.
Right.
You can be as prepared as you want. Things may happen that will make your preparation look like you didn't do anything.
Right.
But you learn from that. We had COVID. What have we learned from it? Have we had one, what do you call it? What do they call it? Center for, is it, I've forgotten, there's one in Nigeria. Have we built one as a response to COVID? To ensure we are training specialists, that we are not encouraging to run away from the country? Did we get any money from COVID? Where could we have invested this money? At least for health alone.
Yeah.
And to have served everybody well. Shouldn't we have had a similar, if not a bigger facility than the University of Ghana Medical Center? To show our preparedness. What shows we are prepared for anything now?
Yeah. Prof, before